Hello and welcome back to Stelgim plays If My Heart Had Wings. Continuing off.
データをロードします。
Kanaka, who was supposed to be having a bath, poked her head out. I read that last time.
はい、何よそれ、聞いてないんですけど。イオーにも小鳥ちゃん、めったに部屋から出てこないんだもん。新しい寮母って男の子じゃない。
Hey look, hey look! Is what it felt like she was saying as she relentlessly pointed at me.
そのやりとりはうちらはるか昔に通過したから。
The girl known as Kotori glared at Kanako like she was interfering. I'm the new door mother. Oi, Minase.
ハバネ小鳥です。
Kotori seemed to meet my introduction with reluctance.
この子はハト。ってもう知ってるわよね。
Hat turned to face me and flapped his wings. He's a clever duck.
本当にあなたが新しい寮母さんなの？
Well, you can call me dorm father. Sounds better, right? Yes, that's right. So you are against it? He suggests he doesn't like the fact the dorm mother of a girl's dormitory is a guy, or the fact that we're the same age. There's nothing he can do about it. Kotori closes her eyes and quietly takes a deep breath as if trying to focus her mind. Kotori?
昼間のことは忘れて。
During the day? Which part?
なるべく全部だけど。そうね。強いて言うなら。
She stopped talking and stared at Kanako, who was standing behind listening. Kanako looked as if she was saying, okay, okay, as she disappeared down the hallway.
この私がついうっかりポロッと泣いちゃったりしたことよ。
Well, don't worry about that. That incident was quite startling and I remember it well. To see a girl's tears from so close like that is something I don't experience very often. I don't know what she thinks about it, but those tears were beautiful.
忘れた？
No, I just remembered. No, not yet.
忘れろ、今すぐ。
Impossible! Don't be silly. When you say it like that, it just makes it even more strongly engraved in my memory.
あのね、新入りのあなたは知らないだろうけど、私これでも。
Kotori straightened her back, composed her expression and smiled. And swish, with a natural gesture, she lifted her hair up.
クールビューティーで通ってるの。
Okay, I'll remember it. But I don't know what Alul is.
ビューティーよ。ちょっと言い間違えただけ。
Oh, I haven't heard that word before.
もう一回言うから、もう一回やらせて。
She said that and then straightened her back and made a composed smile again. Okay, that's enough. I get it, alright?
もう、意地悪、揚げ足取り、人でらしい。
Kotori used just about every insult there is, then turned her wheelchair around. Then she hurriedly raced back down the hallway and back in the rear room. Along the way, Hat, who had been thrown off, chased after her and entered the room through a small door, maybe a special door for ducks, built into the bottom of the main door. I looked on in disbelief. I don't need to say this, but the dainty and delicate image that you had in the daytime had completely crumbled away. Well, I was kind of expecting something like that. This is a game after all. A delicate bud was beginning to sprout and we shared a fleeting love. What? I didn't see that. But... Cool Alul, right? when I remember lifting her hair and being so full of confidence. I feel like I could burst out laughing. Oh yeah, that's also a bit wrong. She's so funny. I think that they translated that a bit wrong. From the beginning, everything's been so messed up. From tomorrow, it looks like things will start getting interesting. I really felt that prediction would come true. This is translated by a Japanese company. Extend the little wings which fly in the sky highly. My first job as a dorm mother. That is, to make breakfast for the boarders. Great. Well, I'm sorry, I can only make mashed potatoes with sausages, so...
Aoi-kun, 料理上手だね。おかわり。
Hey, okay, maybe I made the rice as well. Sure, a big bowl.
わかってるね。
I'm pretty confident in my cooking. Until recently, I was living with my father who was ordered to transfer to the country, and every day I helped with the housework. I was in charge of preparing the meals, and it's not like I hated cooking or anything. That's one of the reasons why I accepted a job as store mother. So the others don't need breakfast, huh? Since just now no one has come into the dining hall. Sometimes there will be someone walking through the hallway in front, but they seem to be sneaking around. Kaneko looked towards the hallway, just as the oldest boarder, Yuka, was peeking in before swiftly dashing off.
もう、みんなオブだからね。男の子に免疫がないのよ。
Don't talk with food in your mouth. But Keifu is a good code school, right?
いくら学校で同じでも、寝起きの緩み切ったすっぴんが見られちゃうわけじゃないからね。
I see. It seems that the guy being the dorm mother of a girls' dormitory will have his problems after all. There's a reason why I accepted the job as dorm mother at Flying Fish Manor. Not long ago, the owner janitor collapsed. It sounds like she's pretty old, and as well as straining her back, she caught a summer cold, which became aggravated. The owner soon began looking for a replacement, but it was hard to find one. Then, she sought help from the real estate company where my mother works. This is one of the properties that my mom manages, and this old acquaintance of the owner from decades ago. She nominated me for this job just as I was planning to come back here. On the documents, my mom is the one responsible for this place, but she got me to carry out the practical duties, in other words, the work of the dorm mother. Then, that became the condition for me coming back to this town. As always, she's very crafty, but I wasn't really against the idea, so I accepted. If I'd known it was a girls' dormitory, of course, I would have refused. This place is old, a little far from the school, but the rent is cheap. Apart from the food and admin expenses, it cost me next to nothing. That's why it would be a big problem for me if I couldn't stay here, and if in the worst case scenario, the boarders won't be able to go to school. So for now it seems that everyone has accepted a guy as a dorm mother.
ごちそうさー。美味しかった。
Kaneko stacked up the dishes on the counter and licked her lips in satisfaction.
ま、みんなそのうち慣れるって。じゃ、行ってきまーす。
She had eaten it all, not even a single grain of rice was left. To have people enjoy my cooking feels pretty good. Of course, that wasn't rice, that was smashed potatoes. But, you know, for game's sake they wrote rice. I feel deeply relieved. I'm happy that things are going well. Ah, jeez, I better get ready for school. What? I'm that young? Oh. In the entrance of the dormitory there was Katari. She was dressed in her uniform and looked like she was about to go to school. I didn't think she was going to school. Morning.
おはよう。
Are we going to school? Shall we go together?
なんでそうなるの？
Why? Well,
私の足のことを心配してるなら余計なお世話よ。ふんと。
she put it bluntly as she quickly went out the front door. I don't have any friends at school, so I was just asking. It looked like we'd have a strange misunderstanding. Pretty scenery. Wearing my new uniform, I will make my way to school. I'm a dorm mother, but also a student of KFU Academy. I mean, this is my real occupation. Today is the first day at my new school. I'm not really the shy type, but I guess I'm kind of nervous. I would say that the school I was going to before was a sports-focused all-boys school. KFU Academy, the school I'll be going to now, is an engineering school, and the code and the school traditions are quite different too. As I walk the streets that lead to school, there are more and more groups of people wearing the same uniform. This is the same area in which I lived 5 years ago. There should be a few people I know, but most of the people who I'd recognize went on to the regular schools. I wonder if the ones who chose to go to KFU Academy remembered me. Even if I only know one person, it will make a big difference. There'll be more weird misunderstandings with Miss Alul too. Oh yeah, which school do Agaha and the others go to? They're my childhood friends who I always played with when I was a kid. There's Agaha, Mabo, Hotaru and Anchan. Also that group, Agaha and Mabo are the same age as me, but we haven't met in 5 years and I haven't really stayed in touch. We just about to manage to exchange New Year cards, but that reminds me. In the corner of last year's New Year's card, I think there was a small message about which school we were planning to go to. What did it say? A lot of things happened, or maybe I'm just lazy, but I haven't told anyone apart from Anchan that I'm coming back. To be honest, I'm not even sure how I should be if I met them. With the ones like Agaha, she'd probably smash my face in. She'd say, "Why didn't you contact me?" or something. She looked and acted like a real tomboy. When I remember the past, it makes me smile, but...
Oh.
Who's this? At the point where Toast Street leading to school met, there was a girl wearing a KFU uniform standing there, looking towards me.
クイックセーブできたわよ。
The other girl that she was walking to school with asked, "What's up?" and seemed puzzled as I spoke to her. However, it seems that that girl can't hear him, and she's staring over here at me. Just faintly, her eyes seemed full of surprise. She's pretty cute. Without realizing, I stopped walking and was staring at the girl. Really? Until a few days ago, I was going to an all-boys school. The sight of a girl on the way to school in her uniform, she was pretty cute too, causing me to get palpitations is perfectly reasonable. I don't know that word.
もしかして、葵?
What? Yes, it is. Suddenly having someone call my name in such a carefree manner made me feel a little nervous. Who is it?
やっぱり葵だ! 嘘、本当に?
There, she said my name again and he has such a happy expression on her face. Do I know any girls this cute? No wait, I have seen this face before. When she smiles like this and her eyes sparkle like a little kid's. Is that you, Agaha?
もしかしなくてもアゲハよ。忘れちゃったの？私の顔。
Oh no! She's going to punch me. She also as she briskly moved closer, bringing her face right up to mine. It's definitely Agaha. She's changed a lot, but if I just look at her face, there's no doubt that it's her. Is it really that Agaha?
しつこいな。他にどのアゲハがいるってのよ。正真正銘、本物の姫木アゲハです。
What is it? Was it said the other girls as they gathered around the circle. Aga turned to face them and introduced me.
この子水瀬葵くん、転校生よ。サッチンは覚えてるよね。
Sachin replied, "No way, Aoi," as she warmly raised her voice in surprise. When we were in the 4th grade of elementary school, we were in the same class once.
私と葵は幼馴染なの。昔ここに住んでたんだけど、転校してっちゃったのよね。
The girls seemed impressed by Agaha's explanation, and they looked at me with full eyes of expectation. Nice to meet you. I'm our Minose. In front of all these girls in their uniforms, I greeted them with a stern look on my face as I tried to hide my embarrassment. I'm trying to make the microphone a bit further away. Agaha laughed as she looked on me with relish. I never thought I would find myself doing instruction in the street on the way to school like this, so I was totally unprepared. I'll say it again. Let me do it again. I could hear Miss Allur's words in the back of my mind.
伸びたわね。最初誰かわかんなかったわ。
As she spoke, Aga was moving her hands around my head to show the difference in height between myself and her. Our bodies were making contact, but she either didn't notice or didn't really mind. I flinched slightly, but the fact that she was so unreserved actually made me feel more comfortable.
昔は私といい勝負だったのに、男の子はずるいな。
Speaking of which, you have changed too.
そう？
She said, "You think so?" She looked at herself. Yeah, you always looked like a boy, so I was surprised to see that you became a girl. Oh no. Those were my honest thoughts, but I said them in a way that sounded weird. I thought you might find it slightly charming, but...
どうだ、いい女になっただろ。
Agaha laughed happily and did a little turn on the spot. The force of her speed made her skirt float around gently. Yeah, it's like you're really not Agaha. Well, days I'm not really thinking, those thoughts just kind of slipped out.
Yay! やったね!
Is this good? Agaha was pleased and did high fives with her friends. Seeing her in high spirits like that was just like old times. Agaha, my best friend during my childhood, hadn't changed in the 5 years that had passed. Her appearance was surprising though. All these English words makes my tongue crash in the mouth somehow. The lessons on my first day at my new school flew by in the blink of an eye. Between the language and social studies lessons I taught in regular schools were those from a specialist curriculum. Wow, that's a difficult word. I was still in the second grade, so there aren't that many, but it looks like when you go into the 3rd and 4th grades, the number of these specialist lessons increases. Hang on. And turn it down a tiny bit. By the way, this is a 5-year school. That's why when walking the hallway, this kind of things happen. What kind of thing? Hey, she's pretty. Coming from an all-boys school with these sad customs, so I couldn't help my eyes from following the girls as I walked past them.
ほほう、早速女子のチェックですか?
No, that's not it. I just thought that they looked really grown up, that's all.
4年か5年の先輩じゃないかな.
At our age, a gap of 3 or 4 years is pretty big. The students in upper grades look very mature. それにね、うちってこの手の専門学校にしては女子の比率が多いんだよ。Huh? Why is that? Without thinking, I really took an interest in that, and Agaha looked at me as if he wanted to call me a pervert. 校舎の建て替えと同時期に女子生徒の受け入れを強化したんだって。I'd heard about that before I transferred. They increased the number courses for girls and asked famous designers to make the designs for the new building. It has been said, thanks to that, the ratio of boys and girls is about 50-50, which is one of the selling points of the school. Bearing this in mind, I felt uneasy about choosing the school as the one I would transfer to, but I'd like people to think that I can't be helped because I'm from an always boys school. By the way, it's now lunchtime. Agaha is in the middle of giving me a guided tour of the school building. Yeah, but this is really an amazing school. The school itself is pretty old. Due to it being a special kind of school, of course, it's famous in the local area. I've known about the two since I was a little kid. The school building had been rebuilt over the last few years. The new renovation divided into several stages, the last of which was completed just 1 year ago. Can't I change the color? The blue on the blue is kind of messing my mind up. It said that this is because of the famous designers. The design uses many curved lines, so the appearance is far removed from that generally associated with the word school. Yeah, this is really a strange school, to be honest. It felt like I had entered some kind of sci-fi setting.
設備も最高だよ。冷暖房完備、完全バリアフリーで、どんな人も安心して学校生活が送れます。
Well, if that's that amazing, then what is the cost for going here? Disabled access. That's right, Miss Kotori should be somewhere in this school.
でもさ、葵、ほんと変わったよね。
Agaha, as she walked by my side, was happily murmuring as she looked at my face.
顔とか、昔はもっと可愛らしかったのに、なんかゴツゴツしちゃってさ。
Yeah, sent to you.
ひどっ私、ゴツゴツなんてしてないもん。
If you knew that when we met on the way to school earlier, I thought she's pretty cute. She never let it go, so I'd better keep quiet.
あんちゃんから聞いてなかったら気づかなかったわよ。
You heard it from Anchan?
そう、葵が帰ってくるってね。
By the way, I'm in the same class as Agaha. She knew that I might be coming as a transfer student, which is why she wasn't that surprised by our chance meeting this morning.
あんたね、帰ってくるなら連絡くらいよこしなさいよね。
Sorry. The reason why we call him Anchan isn't because he's an older brother type guy. Yeah, I know that. He was a childhood friend, but he was much older than us, so we nicknamed him Anchan. He's not related by blood, but he's just like a real big brother. Aga glared at me and said "Geez" as I tried to laugh it off.
昔の私ならアックスボンバーかましてるところよ。
Wow. She would really have hit me. As we talked, we went back to the classroom. What? This school can't be... This school must have some sort of money problem. The classrooms weren't exactly normal either. I feel a little uneasy taking lessons there, but maybe I'll get used to it sometime soon. So I can play games while the teacher is doing stuff there. No one will notice either. By the way, there's a girl in a wheelchair in this school, right? Miss Alul? No, I mean, she's called Kotori Havana. I asked Agaha as we returned to our seats. I didn't ask what grade she was in, but even if it's not the same, I thought Agaha would at least be aware of her. Agaha reacted like she was being evasive. It wasn't just Agaha, but other people sitting nearby who heard her conversation also seemed kind of awkward. Huh? What's wrong?
ハバネさんならうちのクラスだよ。今日は来てないみたいだけど。
But she went to school. After Agaha said that, someone added, "You mean today either, don't you?" The way she said that seemed quite harsh. That can't be. I mean, I thought about explaining that she had left the dormitory this morning in her uniform, but I held my tongue. The atmosphere was kind of strange.
ここんとこずっと休んでるんだ。 体調が良くないみたいでさ。
Not feeling well? Yesterday she had went up to the windmill hill, and then later she was chasing that duck around the halls of the dormitory. And this morning she left wearing her uniform. Is she skipping school? However, more worrying than what Cutter is up to is the reaction of the others in the class when they hear us talking about her. Even Aga looked like she had something she wanted to say but couldn't. But I don't really know what the situation is, so I can't really say anything.
おい、山本。英語の辞書を貸してくんね。
As the awkwardness started to fade, an optimistic voice called out. From the entrance of the classroom, a carefree looking guy poked his head in and started speaking to a boy in our class. Well, if the characters have voices, that means they're important.
お、ちょうどいいところに。おーい、マーボー。
I see. Childhood friend.
だよ、アゲハ。なんか用か？
The guy known as Mabo came into the classroom.
お前と仲良くしてっと、エリちゃんのご機嫌が悪くなんだよ。あれってやっぱ、ジェラシーってやつだよな。
いいからこっち来い。
お、誰これ？転校生？アゲハは見た目結構可愛いけど、中身男だから気をつけろ。
I know! This guy, I know I want to have fun with this game now.
なんだよ。
There's always someone with this personality. Long time no see, Mabo.
は？
Why is this transfer student being so buddy-buddy with me? His face seemed to say. It's me, have you forgotten me?
俺だよって。え？お前、葵？
Yes. I looked at Agaha and she wanted to surprise him, so it seems like she intentionally didn't tell him. This slightly superficial guy is Masatsugi Sasaki, or Mabo as we call him. He's our childhood friend.
なんで葵がここにいるんだよ。てか、転校生って？
あんた驚きすぎ。
そりゃ驚くって。
You seem well, Mabo. You've grown pretty big. Of course, it's been 5 years. Masatsugi used to be real small, but now he was about the same size as me. It's not quite like the change in Agaha, but in 5 years that have passed since we were kids, it looks like he's grown to about twice the size.
お前こそ。
We grabbed each other by the right hand. Just as he said of a small, quiet greeting.
本当に葵なのかよ。
Yeah, I'm back, Mabo.
おかえり。葵。
This time, bam! He gave me a full-on hug. Oh, come on, get away from me. Hey, hey!
熱い友情ってやつだね。
Hey, I'm not swinging that way. You're the only ones who thought so, whereas all the girls around us were totally freaked out.
会いたかったよ。
What?
じゃねえよ、この裏切り者。
What? Mabo suddenly backed off and thrust his finger at the end of my nose. What's all this about suddenly?
いきなり出て行ったと思ったら、ろくに連絡もよこさねえで。
Hey, why? What are you talking about?
俺やアゲハがどんな思いでいたか、てめえ知ってるのか？
いやいや、勝手に私を巻き添えにするな。
そのくせよくものこのこと。
I'm sorry, but it's not my fault that I had to move away if you want to complain, so say it to my dad. I thought about writing a letter, but I felt kind of embarrassed. For the most part, the fact that there was no contact was both of our faults.
この裏切り者め、俺は絶対許さないかんな。
Didn't you just hug me?
お前なんか嫌いだ、バカ。
Oh no. with saliva flying out of his mouth as he emphasized his words. Mabo forgot all about borrowing the English dictionary, and he stormed out of the classroom.
子供かい。
Apparently, it was just us, but everyone in the classroom was shocked.
こうなると思って教えてなかったんだけどね。知ってたらあいつ最初から全開であんな感じだっただろうから。
I think that was a correct decision. I want to say thank you. Even so, he did seem really upset about it.
あいつ最近彼女ができて調子づいてんのよ。小さい頃は「あおい、あげは待ってよ」とか言って私らの後にくっついてきてたのにね。大丈夫、すぐ元通りになるって。だってあいつあおい大好きっ子だもん。
As a friend, right? As a friend. Don't say it like that, it sounds weird.
そうかわいいじゃない。
While we carried on talking, the bell to mark the end of lunchtime sounded. Everyone put away their lunch boxes and got ready for the next lesson. Aga went back to her seat. She stopped halfway, then walked back. What's up? Aga seemed concerned about those around us, lowered her voice.
なんでハバネさんのこと知ってるのかなって。
Oh. Well, the truth is, my mom asked me to be the dorm mother for a student dormitory. I lowered my voice so that those around us couldn't hear.
寮の管理人？
Yeah, there's a big explanation about this. Katori is boarding there.
そうなんだ。
My mom asked me to take good care of Katori. Even if she hadn't, I'd be worried about her anyway. As she listened to my explanation, Aga thought it over. Her expression darkened somehow.
このまま来なくなるんじゃないかってみんな心配してる。あんまり学校が楽しくないみたいなんだ。
It looked like she was saying, I can't believe she doesn't enjoy school. You seem to enjoy it.
私？もちろんだよ。だって楽しいじゃない学校。
I guess. It was my first day at a new school, but I was enjoying it quite a lot.
そっか。そうなんだ。
Whether or not she was convinced by my story, Aga mumbled something or other as she returned to her seat. Mumbled something or other? What? Can't get this meaning of the words. At the school, I was alone and I was wandering around the school building, just so that I could take a look at some of the club activities. Film studies, theatre club, there's even an RC club, roller coaster, rat club, ring. This is, after all, a specialist school. Rocket club. Looking at the playing field from the window in the heat outside, I saw sports clubs practicing. Compared to my school, it's pretty calm. The sports clubs at the school I used to go to were taking it so seriously. The sight of training before the match was one of grueling harshness. Wait, what do you mean by my school? I'm a student of this school now. I'll go take a look. I went down next to the playing field to watch the sports clubs practicing. Before long, I started to feel a little down, so I left. The doctor said that if it's light exercise, it shouldn't be a problem. Ah, he must have injured himself while bicycling. I tried stamping down strongly with my right foot, and there isn't really any discomfort. There, the baseball club, which I was returning through from the off-campus running course, entered through the school gates.
あ、水瀬、お前あの水瀬だろ?
The one calling me was an old acquaintance. It's you, Taguchi. It's been a long time.
お前帰ってきたんだってな。もう部活は決めたのか?
Well, not yet. I'm going around and take a look.
野球部入れよ。お前ならすぐレギュラーなれるぞ。
When I was a kid, I often played baseball in the park. Some of the guys in the group that were my teammates on the other team were in the baseball team now. I'll think about it. I casually responded, and the baseball team members replied, "Come on, join us," seriously, as they returned to the playing field. If I could do physical activities, baseball in fact, anything would be okay. As I grumbled to myself, it felt like I didn't want to go back to the playing field, so I entered the path leading to the back of the school. I spent a while walking around the back of the school. It was called the rear garden, but looked like it hadn't been taken care of at all, and was just an empty space with weeds growing everywhere. In that empty space there was a garage. Hello, I'm coming in. Looks like someone's there, but I thought I should say something to let them know, just in case. Is this place used for club activities too? Or is it used for lessons? I don't know what they're used for, but there are many tools and parts crammed under the shelves that cover the walls. Then in the center is a huge object covered with sheet. Oh, it's that plane! The feelings that had washed over me like a wave when I watched the sports clubs, strangely it subsided from being here. The tools in the dimly lit garage must have reminded me of the times when I would tinker with my bicycle. What is this used for? I conceal the sound of my footsteps as I sneak inside the garage. I know what this is used for. Tea? It's pretty spacious. There's a tea set here too. There was no doubt about it. Someone was using this place. I get a strange sense of activity, but I guess it must be one of those clubs. Whoa! There's someone there! I was so surprised I felt my heart was going to jump out. She didn't hear me? The person over there seemed not to have noticed me at all. I'm not sure if you could call it a drawing board, but as she stared at the plants that were placed there, she was kind of groaning. I'm sorry for letting myself in here. I'll be going now. Wow. It's not good, she didn't hear me.
クイックセーブできたわよ。
Her eyes were so serious as she stared at the plants, and she looked like she was really concentrating. I didn't know what to do, so I just looked at her from the side. Now that I look closely, she's really beautiful. Hey, why am I staring at her? I hurriedly look away. However, it looks like she still hasn't noticed me, so I take another glimpse. She looks quite mature. Is she in the 5th grade? Yeah, she looks mature. She's so pretty. Koto is pretty too, but this person is different, and has a mysterious charm. Oh no! Oh! She suddenly stood up. I'm sorry! Without thinking, I averted my eyes and apologized, but she was looking straight past me and grabbed a big thick book from the shelf.
やっぱりそうか。
She flicked through the pages and looked like she had found something before going straight back to her seat. In good spirits, she began swiftly drawing the plants. The pen made a nice swoosh swoosh sound as it ran across the page. The feeling of maturity that she had until now just now suddenly shaded. When she smiles, all of a sudden she looks more like a kid. As her eyes looked straight at the plants, they looked as they had a crystal clear purity to them. Just like an innocent child, her eyes looked as though she had believed that the world is full of wonderful, sparkling things.
これでよしっと。
Her hand stopped moving. I got the timing right. Excuse me. Hi, Stelgim. How do you do? She finally noticed me.
いや、こんにちは。
Even though I had unexpectedly appeared like that, she didn't show any signs of caution, and still in good spirits, smiled as she greeted me. Hi. I thought I should say something to her, but I didn't think I'd know what to say after that.
どうかしたのかい？
I'm sorry that I just let myself in here. I just transferred here today, but I was taking a look at the club activities and got lost and came in here. I got a little carried away and said more than I needed, but she didn't seem interested at all. She looked at me as if to say yes and.
勝手に入ってくれて構わないぞ。
Oh, okay. It seemed like a kind of blunt way to say it, but she wasn't angry or anything. She has a strange way of speaking. Well, I'm sorry, but I better go. As I said that like a total loser, a huge sound echoed from around the garage. What's that noise?
ああ、お腹すいた。
Oh no. With a lack of energy in her voice, the beautiful girl before me held her stomach and fell onto the drawing board. Was that the sound of your stomach just now? We're inside the garage, so the sound echoed like crazy and sounded like the growl of a monster.
空腹だったことを体が思い出してしまったらしいぞ。
She seemed to sway as she tried to get up, but she didn't have enough energy, so she slumped back down with a shake on the drawing board. Would you like to eat this? I took some bread out of my bag. I thought I'd get hungry with just a lunchbox, so at lunchtime I bought some melon bread. Whoa! How it's shown as you were an explorer who has discovered treasure in a cave in some unexplored place.
いいのか？
Go ahead!
ありがとう。
She took the melon bread, opened the wrapper immediately and bit into the contents. She was getting crumbs everywhere, but really looked like she was enjoying it as she devoured it greedily.
おいしい、おいしい。久しぶりのカロリー摂取だ。
Could that be because she's poor? The fact that she was so ecstatic over something like a melon bread actually made me quite worried, because she could easily be won over with some food. She didn't show any signs that she was thinking of my generosity and just ate up the high-calorie melon bread.
おいしかった。
Ooh. She murmured happily, looking as happy as she can be. She looked like she was mulling over the taste of the melon bread in her brain.
脳に糖分が染み渡る。
She said that as she turned back to the drawing board. Then she started drawing the plants again with incredible energy. From the serious look on her face, it seemed that she had already forgotten about me. She's strange. Not just a little, but very strange. Okay, well, I'll be off now. Perhaps she didn't hear me. I put the melon bread wrapper that she had left behind in my pocket and turned to leave. I reluctantly left the special atmosphere of the garage behind me. Well, that was it.